Alright. Next review. Okay, this game is about a Mercy main whose peak was mid-masters a couple seasons ago. She currently plays mostly in high Plat to low diamond as far as I know. We're watching a game on Hollywood where she's playing Reinhardt. She's still learning how to play it, so she doesn't have a lot of experience yet. I think this game is like mid-plat or high-plat, like 2.8 or something. She did say that this game was a win. She still wanted to have some of my feedback about what can be improved. Okay, so I'm not sure how detailed I should be, because she's still practicing it. I don't know how many hours she actually put into the game yet, or into Reinhardt. At this point, she's standing here because I think she wants to fire strike and get some ult charge already. She can use that like a second earlier. Like when the countdown gets to 1, she can already fire strike, because the moment the doors open, then it will immediately hit. The doors are already open and they can see her, so it's much easier for them to actually avoid. And then I see the Widow shooting her right in the face. So the Widow got more value out than she did. Okay, holding here is fine normally. You only need to back off if you know that like, you're about to be in danger, or your shield is low, or they're actually pushing much harder, and especially later on when they have ultimates, you need to actually try to negate that. So you want to try and block the enemy Rein's shatter. That's like the main thing that you can do as a Reinhardt yourself. Okay, if we were on voice, then would probably tell the team, well, there's a tracer flanking, so the team knows that they can take care of each other, but that's nothing that Reinhardt has to take care of, because he just has to deal with the front, basically. Always take down the shield when you get bubbled, so Zarya can get some more energy, and that also means you can maybe recharge your shield a little bit meanwhile. Really low, gotta back up. That's good. Okay, those are some good picks here. But the only thing that was dangerous in this situation was when you go forward, most supports are like standing on point, like they want to be somewhere safe. So they are usually gonna be standing like around here, or I like to stand like here in this window, because you're like safe from projectiles, and if anything is gonna flank, then you notice it sooner. Supports are generally behind you, and as soon as you move forward to be more aggressive and you don't know that your healers are not with you, standing in front of this car especially is blocking the line of sight from your healers. So generally I would be very careful with that. Remember that you can press both left click and right click. If you hold up your shield and then you press left click, you can actually turn around without taking down your shield, or without actually turning around. I can show that in the practice range in a bit. So I'm gonna put that video on top of this video, I guess, to show what I mean. Something that I am always annoyed about when I play support myself, especially as Ana, you need the line of sight on your tank, and they often tend to like run around the corner or be in front of the payload or on the other side of the payload, so you are literally out of line of sight for your healers, but still in line of sight of the enemy. So that is always a dangerous thing. But anyways, you got the pick on the Rhine, he was about to charge you, so that could have gotten very dangerous. Like the break could have stunned you, the entire team was still alive on their side. You had no line of sight with your healer, but it turned out fine, so it could have been dangerous. But yeah, it was alright. Okay, that shatter was huge because Reinhardt was already dead, but you don't have any follow-up. She mentioned it before that she rather does a lot of bad shatters than not any shatters, because she wants to learn from it. Since we're not on voice comms, nobody will know that you shattered, and if they realize that you did, they still don't know how many are on the ground, and it's gonna take them a while to even get here. So looking back at the team, they actually came forward, like the supports came forward because you went forward, because they need the line of sight, and you're critical. So they're like, oh shit, our Reinhardt is slow, so I'm gonna run forward. And your Ashe just died, so she's not even there yet. It could have been a huge dynamite, but yeah. Okay, here, you put up your shield. Like if you shatter and you commit, then commit for real, like commit 100%. Like you go forward, you go swing at them, you use your fire strike at the same time. There's also an animation cancel that I'm gonna insert here as well. I'm gonna show that in the practice range, because there is something that you can do to deal damage faster. Like the animation cancel allows you to swing at them and then immediately fire strike, because usually your swing has like a 1 second cooldown before you can swing one more time. Oh, and also that you can, to get bigger range, you need to tilt your camera left and right to get more range. If you are the Ryan like this is the Ryan, and you have your hammer like that, then basically if you have your crosshair straight forward, then you swing like this. Like this is the hitbox of your swing. So if you just keep moving straight forward, then this is how far your damage is gonna go. But if you tilt your crosshair like slightly to the left and slightly to the right, then this edge here is pretty much hitting further, because let's say it goes like this now. Let's take another color. Because your crosshair is here instead, so your swing is like that. Which is like this little corner is like a little bit further than if your crosshair was here. I don't know if that makes any sense, but yeah, I'm gonna show that in the practice range to make more sense, I guess. Okay, at this point gotta back off again because the shatter was sadly not good enough, like you couldn't finish them off and they're still like a full group. Your shield is less than half, so time to go back now. And sadly, well, okay, you still wanted to commit, just got bubbled as well. Zarya already backed off. As I said earlier, like if you're standing here in front of the car, it forces your healers to push so far forward to even get line of sight of you. Ana was standing right here. Okay, let's take Ana's point of view. Let's go back just a little bit. Okay, she's standing back here, probably thinking that you would be backing off. I mean, Zarya already backed off and they're about to push in, so it's like, ooh, this is scary, like the entire team is there. They're about to get some ultimates, so gotta be more safe or in a better position. She's trying to jump, but she can't really reach you. Yeah, so being in front of payloads especially, like as soon as they cap this, and you're like in front of the payload and then Anna's like standing here, is literally forcing her to move around the payload or get closer to you. And that is a waste of time. You probably want to make it easier for your supports. Okay, so that point is lost, unfortunately. Okay, you group up because you want to hold on the other side, that's fine. Okay, so here you got nano boosted, so that usually means, oh, every Reinhardt is usually gonna start swinging like mad. The enemy Reinhardt used their shatter as well. I don't know if you knew that, but if you don't know if he has a shatter, and you should have it because you already used yours, then you probably should try to react to the voice line and try to block it, even though you have nano, because that's usually a moment where I would say, if I was the enemy Reinhardt, oh, now I'm gonna shatter him because I know he's gonna go aggressive and I know he's gonna start swinging because he's trying to get value out of the nano. In this case, you didn't have it, so it was fine. And Graph has been used as well, so it was completely fine. Okay, nice, you got your shatter again. You got a lot of value out of the nano by hitting like 3 to 4 targets at once. Okay, that's another nano, that's another shatter just like the first one over there, where your team is probably holding further back and they're not gonna be there in time. Ana is super far away, so again you're like out of line of sight. If you take damage now, she will not be there in time. Mora... what the fuck is happening here? Mora is closer, but still has to shift to you in order to get you. Ashe was actually there, so Dynamite could have done a lot here. But that depends on like your team knowing if you're like holding far forward or not. And that's where you want to look at your team instead. Like instead of your team looking at you because you're not communicating with them and you don't know what they're doing, it's better to actually have a look at them. Okay, now you know like almost all of them are pushing this way because your Ashe just used Bob, so they're not gonna be out in the open. They're all alive though, and they have a lot of ults. Like they're about to get the Shatter, they have Graph, they're gonna get Coalescence, they have the McCree ult, and they have the Tracer Bomb. And something that you always have to be careful of is like what kind of setup do they have? They have a McCree who can flashbang over your shield, and they have a brick that can stun you, so they can maybe get a shatter off. Those two are the dangerous ones, plus having to block the enemy Rein's shatter. I think here you went a little too far forward. I know you just got bubbled and you tried to get value out of it, but literally the entire team is looking at you and you're gonna take a lot of damage real quick. Reinhardt is not the same as it used to be. Back then it felt like you were actually a tank and you didn't take so much damage, but now you might as well just die in just a single second. So there's no more bubble, you're taking a lot of damage, your supports are back here, and you are out of line of sight again. So you probably want to be like more outside, like you can still hold them here, but not actually commit to go inside there. Usually try to keep in mind where my supports would be, or I imagine like, okay, if I was a support, where would I be most likely? So yeah, it looks like you're gonna die. Alright. Okay, the good thing is, the enemy team could have won this fight without using any ults, but they did. They used 3 ults. They used Graph for the rest of your team, they used Coalescence into it, and they used the Pulse Bomb. So that's 3 ults down, so at least you force them to use some ults, so that's good. They will probably die, so either they have to just turn around and run away, or die fast. Okay, you should be back now. They're very far forward, so this McCree just... okay, I don't know, it looks like he rolled backwards. But remember that you can avoid being flashed above your shield. Like, usually McCrees can throw their flashbangs above the shield to stun you anyway, even though you're shielding, but you can tilt your shield upwards to actually avoid it. But in this case he rolled away, so it's something that I thought he would do because he was so close, but he didn't. One thing I just noticed is when you are shielding and you're kind of low and you want to recharge, then I would rather not be like in the open, like holding here, because there is no cover. You want to use natural cover if possible. Like, I don't know, you want to use this box maybe while you recharge your shield so you don't take so many like McCree shots to the face. Or, I don't know, if you are holding here, then use this card as natural cover until your shield is back, and then you can use your shield again while you're like holding like more in the middle of the street. But holding here generally, or anywhere where it's open, where you can't go anywhere because they can shred your shield real fast, then you have nowhere to go, and that leaves you so much more vulnerable. So if you can always like hold corners or like anything that has some natural cover. And this is the situation that you probably mentioned where the enemy Reinhardt got his play of the game. Because you got nano boosted, but the brick stunned you, so he got his shatter off. So that is pretty good team play, I guess, by them. Don't even worry about it. Unless you want to try to avoid that, if you're aware they have a McCree or the Brig, then you don't want to be that close up to them or actually actively try to avoid these stuns. Like, as I said, you can tilt up your shield upwards to avoid the McCree stun. Brick cannot stun through your shield, so she has to actually be like behind your shield, so maybe you can like turn around in time to avoid it. In this case you had your shield down, so it was a little bit easier for her to get the stun off. But you know, it happens. Like, I wouldn't even worry about it too much. Okay, if you decide here, when they're this close to capping the checkpoint, then either commit or don't. It's pretty close. Someone else is contesting. I can't really see right now who it is. Seems to be one of your DPS actually. Yep, it's your Ashe somehow contesting, but you're most likely gonna lose her because she's alone at the moment. Standing here is not a good position. As soon as they cap the point, then their spawn is gonna be so close and you're just gonna get snowballed. Like, they're gonna kill the leftovers while you're trying to run away back to your spawn. So decide. Either go for it and try to contest, or don't. But I felt like you spent a little, like, too much time being here. I might try to countercharge that Reinhardt, because it stuns both of you and you negate the damage completely. And since you just came out of that entrance and you had teammates there, then he might be able to catch something. Even if you avoided it, but he's probably gonna kill something else. So I probably would try to countercharge him. Alright, in this situation, let's see, the enemy Reinhardt doesn't have his shatter yet, and you were shielding because you were low, and you were waiting for heals. That was fine because you were contesting. That's like pretty much the best you can do in this situation right now. Your Moira is using her Coalescence, that's good, but let's say the enemy team, or you think that the enemy Reinhardt might have his shatter and you need your shield to block it, but you just depleted it because you were low. Then try to let it deplete until you only have like 100 left, and then you take it down, rather than letting it break completely, because then you have 5 seconds cooldown. At least if you have like 100 or even 5 shield, just 5 shield left. God, the sound is annoying. Even if you just have 5 shield left, then that's gonna be enough to block an entire shatter. So, like, never letting your shield break completely can actually be useful. Same with Diva Bombs. Diva Bombs deal 1000 damage, but even if you have like 5 shield left and you use it at the right time, then you can still block the entire ult. Okay, I would normally go and swing at the graph, but you were trying to make sure that they're not gonna cap the point, so that's alright. Finish them off anyway. It's funny how the Tracer is just sitting here in this corner and 2 people just walk past. It's good though, like, you stayed here because I would also not trust my teammates to actually contest, especially when I know that there is a Tracer and she might ninja cap. If you pay attention to the kill feed, then you know that he never died. Sounds like he left though, so at this point I would go forward again. You can already try to throw some fire strikes, like you could walk forward and try to get a fire strike off here and there, just to get some advantage for your Earth Shatter. Okay, this is again this like dangerous open area. If you take a lot of damage, or if they actually manage to shred your shield real fast, then you have nowhere to go because there's no cover. Gotta back off, probably. Like, I wouldn't stay here any longer than this. Oh, that was close. And this is again this situation where you're like exactly in front of the payload. If the healers are like standing here, they can't see you. It forces them to go on top of the payload, closer to the enemy team, exposed to danger. Kind of annoying for healers to actually keep you alive if you are holding there. So generally I would rather stand like beside it, like on the left side or the right side. You can also be on top, but that leaves you exposed to not be able to block enemy shatters. And here would be another situation where I would try to leave a tiny bit of your shield, because the enemy Reinhardt this time for sure should have his shatter, because he didn't use it last fight. Okay, that was another combo of like, you would have gotten shattered because the brick stunned you, but thankfully your Ana had the perfect sleep dart to actually interrupt it, so that was good. So now is the time to fucking swing at them. So he already had to use this shatter, and you can see that they're backing off, so feel free to just press W and swing at them. Can throw some fire strikes here. Unfortunately he hit the pole, but yeah, generally you can throw fire strikes, especially from that distance. Okay, and unlike other Reinhardts, you didn't charge all the way through, because like I can see here already, like you never know what they have at the start. So Roto could just instantly hook you, and then Ana would like put an anti-nade on you, and then you might get stunned by the McCree, and then just right-click you in the face. Like, you would just feed. If you would charge like most Reinhardts, like all the way here, and then you get hooked into this area, and then everyone's just gonna kill you and nobody can help you. So it's good that you only charged this far, not too far away from your team. Okay, the annoying part about playing Rein here is the fact that they have a McCree. He can stun you above the shield if you don't block it. They have a Doomfist that can punch you in the face, so you're stunned for a little bit. They have an Ana with a sleep dart and a nade, so that's two dangerous things. They have the Reinhardt with a shatter that you need to block, and they also have a hook that you need to block. So there's a lot that you need to take care of. So this match is kind of hard for a Reinhardt to pay attention to everything, but if you would manage to avoid literally everything, then that's what makes you a really good Reinhardt here. Yeah, right there you got punched. Okay, barrier got destroyed again. That's the very first fight, so nobody has ults. But you already lost 2 people, so at this point just die fast, I guess. You might even just try to charge in or use a fire strike or just swing until you die just to get more ult charge. I think you tried to help whoever was left over there. I would just either completely fuck off or just go in, try to get some more charge and die faster so you can regroup sooner. Okay, the tree stun. If you see him this close up, he will probably try to stun you, so you can try to hold up your shield. It's obviously not going to be a guarantee. I mean, everything is easier said than done, obviously, and you are like in the middle of the game, so it's more stressful. Everything happens in real time. I'm literally backseat gaming here by being able to pause and slow down and see every outline, see every ultimate status. So it's just something that you can generally try to improve, but it will not work out 100% of the time. Oh, you saw, or you could hear that the Doomfist was literally just charging up his right click, and that's a stun, so I would not have used my Shatter here. But now, after the Reinhardt died and the Doomfist is still there, you didn't need to back off again. You could continue chasing them down because you have the advantage. I think you can be more aggressive here, especially after you killed the Rein. Like, you can move further forward. You don't have to go like all the way to the spawn, but you can push a bit further forward. You still do have an Ana that can heal from a distance, and they're still pushing the payload. So if you like stagger them, it just makes it worse for them. So they have to regroup, and you're still pushing the payload, so it's all good. You have plenty of time as well. Nice, block the Shatter. Okay, I understand why you went back, because you're purple and low, so you don't want to commit and go in. You were blading anyway into the graph with a nano, so they should be dying. Okay, now that you're full though, like, and you don't need to watch them from a distance, you can still deal some damage, get some ult charge for the next fight. At this point I would be holding where the Zarya is. Like, you're so close to capping already, so I would probably be standing around here, still in line of sight with the healers, but you can hold them at the door when they're about to push. And maybe you can throw a fire strike here and there. Well, you were just sitting on the payload. I think there were enough people on the payload, like you had 5. Maximum speed is 3, so you don't even need to be there. You might as well just be at this door. Better safe than sorry, like, rather do what you're supposed to do than idling there thinking that you've won. I've had it so many times that my tank thought it was already won and they were just like idling or emoting, and then they happened to be able to touch one more time. Team wasn't able to kill them fast enough, and then in the end lost the fight anyway, so rather not risk it. Okay, so as a summary, what can be said about this? So the shatters definitely need to have more values. It's not really about having like a huge shatter, like 5 people. You can shatter people even if you just get 1 person, that's worth it. Better than nothing. As soon as you find that like either the enemy team's Rein is dead, so they don't have a shield, they don't have a Zarya bubble, they don't have a stun or anything to interrupt you. So as soon as you see an opening where you can use your shatter, then go for it. In this game you often use it when your team wasn't nearby or not close enough to actually help out with it. Fire strikes still could be better, you can use them more often. I can see that you're playing a little passive from time to time because you're not sure, like, should I push in or should I commit, or I just... It looks very careful in general. Well, you didn't charge a whole lot at all, but you can always charge on short distances as long as you don't like charge the entire, like across the entire map. If you charge him into a wall, then that works because it's short distance. You don't really move too far away from the team, you can still get healed, you can pretty much immediately put up your shield again. And then you can practice the animation cancel with the fire strike and the swing. You can also watch your team without actually turning around by doing this shield trick. You always want to try and figure out when is the enemy team gonna have their shatter. You need to pay attention to what kind of heroes the enemy team has. Like in this case, a McCree can stun you, a Doomfist can stun you, a Brick can stun you, the Ana can sleep dart you and also nade you, the Rotor can hook you. You need to block the enemy shatter. That's a lot that you need to take care of, so that's something that you need to read on the enemy team. And also generally taking like natural covers and corners. You don't normally want to be in the open, even if you're the tank, because your shield can be shredded fast. It literally just got nerfed from 2000 shield to 1600. You die fairly quickly because people or DPS has been buffed, so they are just dealing a lot more damage. Once you got a pick and you're winning, you can actually push forward already with your team, especially when you see your Zarya over there, you might as well help them. In general, shatters are not too bad if you waste them. It's not like a Zarya grab where you miss everything and then that's a bad one, because Zarya's ult regenerates the slowest of all heroes, so that is always a huge waste, but shatters are not ever that bad. And saving a tiny bit of your shield just to use it for blocking things, like if they had a D.Va and they're using a D.Va bomb, even if you only have 50 shield left, that's better than letting your shield break completely, because you can still block the entire damage. Alrighty, so as usual, thanks for watching, guys. There will be more game reviews, hopefully, if people are sending more replays. Let me know what you think. I can also be a lot more detailed or give more feedback if you want that. My voice has been completely fucked because I did like 2 reviews in one now, and I'm not really used to talking this much, so I actually got a really sore throat. So I'm gonna cut this video down and hopefully that's gonna make some sense.